Welcome to Stretching Mobility. I wish we were in the gym together to do this, but we're not, so this is gonna have to do for today. I have Charlotte and Emily helping me out. They're both very flexible. I wish I had someone who was a little less flexible to show you what it might look like for you, but I have them today, so just do the best that you can. The question of the day is queso or salsa. Obviously the answer is really guac, but if you have to pick queso or salsa, get on Instagram, put your answer in so we can see how many queso people we have in here. All right, if we're ready to go, you're gonna need a bench or a chair, something like that. A couch would work too. If you don't have it, it's not gonna be a huge deal, but it would be nice if you have one close by. We're just gonna do one stretch with it. This is stretch and mobility class. Hopefully you've been doing a lot of home workouts, so you're a little bit sore. Tuesday, Thursdays, we're gonna do some stretching together. Some days we're gonna zero in on specific elements, maybe hips, maybe ankles, shoulders. Today, we're just gonna kind of do an overview, stretch the whole body. Do the best you can, jump in. Sometimes we're gonna hold stretches a little bit longer than you might be used to. Just try to stay with it. We're gonna start on the upper body today, and then we're gonna work our way down. So we're about to hop in. Hope you guys are ready to go. All right, thumbs up, we're ready to go. Okay. We are going to start out in child's pose. You're gonna lay down, feet are gonna be close together, knees are spread, hands are stretched up, and you're gonna reach shoulders towards the floor. Okay? We're gonna hang out here for a little bit. I'm gonna try not to talk over everything so that you can kind of just relax and stretch, but I will give some cues, things that you can focus on. Hang out in this stretch, press your armpits towards the floor, breathe into it, try to relax here. As we hold here, you might feel that you're starting to loosen up. You can spread your knees a little further, you can press your shoulders down a little further into it. If you feel like you can do that, go ahead and just hang out here and breathe. Keep pushing those armpits down towards the floor. Keep reaching out with your arms. All right, now we're gonna take your right arm and you're gonna reach underneath you. And then you're gonna press back into the floor just like you did before. It's just gonna hit a little bit of different muscles, change it up a little bit. Just wanna relax into this again. Looks good. This is a nice stretch to start with, just to kind of calm your mind, calm your body down, relax. Keep taking deep breaths while you're stretching. Looks good. And we're gonna slowly come out and switch arms. Reach far underneath with that arm, then press down into the floor. Every time you start to stretch, you usually start out a little bit tight. If you can just hold that stretch and breathe into it, you're gonna feel like your muscles start to loosen up and you can go a little deeper into the stretch. It's one benefit of holding stretches for longer than we normally do, is each minute that you hold, you're gonna be able to get a little bit deeper down into it just by relaxing. Go about 5 more seconds here. And relax out of it slowly. Last one we're gonna do here is you're gonna take your right arm and you're gonna reach out to the side. Put your left hand on top of it. You're gonna go into the same stretch, but but it's gonna reach to the side and it's gonna open up that lat, change up the stretch a little bit here. So, same child's pose we're doing, but you're reaching out over that right knee here. And then press your shoulders down and breathe. Head and chest go down towards the floor. It's looking good. Emily and Charlotte both can push pretty far here. If you can't get quite down that far, that's okay. Your chest might not go down as much as they do. Your knees might not be quite as wide. Just go to what you can do. And then we're gonna switch sides. Take the left arm, reach over, bring the right hand to it, and stretch down. Try to really open up that lat. Feel it stretching there. Every time you breathe out, try to press down just a little bit further. Don't force it, but just try to relax and let the muscles open up a little bit more. Looking good. Stretching should be to the point where it feels a little uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be super painful. And come on out. Now, you're gonna sit either on your knees or cross-legged, whichever's more comfortable for you. You're gonna take one arm, put it above your head. You're gonna grab that elbow and pull it more behind your head. This is gonna be triceps, lats. Looks good. If you're tight in your upper body, you might not be able to pull that elbow very far. That's okay. Just feel it along the whole side. If you've been doing a lot of push-ups, burpees, pull-ups, anything like that, this should be able to open up those muscles. Emily can get that arm way behind her head. A lot of people can't get it that far. And we're just gonna switch arms. I'm gonna pull that other arm. Lats are a muscle that are tight on a lot of people, especially males, so this is a good one to open that up. Just keep hanging out here for a little bit longer. And then come on out of that one. We're gonna go into prayer stretch. If you have a bench, a chair, a couch, use something like that. If you don't have something like that, just do the stretch that we just did. It won't be quite the same, but it'll still work. So Emily's using a PVC, Charlotte's not. Either way's fine. You're gonna put your elbows on the bench and you're gonna press your chest and head down towards the floor. Try to have your elbows not terribly far apart, about shoulder width apart here. This is a really awesome stretch if you have trouble in the front rack position, front squats, thrusters, anything like that. That's generally, if you're tight in that position, it's because your lats and your pecs, your triceps are really tight. So this is maybe the best stretch to open that up and to work on that front rack position. I know a lot of the guys in our gym have trouble getting their elbows up. Then they get a lot of wrist pain for that. This is a good one to just add into your daily routine. Again, Emily and Charlotte are really pretty flexible. A lot of you are not going to be able to get as far as they can. That's okay. We're going to relax out of that now. We're gonna do one more shoulder upper body stretch. You're gonna sit down in a pike, so legs are straight out in front of you. You're gonna put your hands behind you and put your pinky fingers pretty close to each other, almost touching. From there, scoot your butt out as much as you can until you feel a stretch in your shoulders. If it's more comfortable to bend your knees, that's totally fine. Either way works. Just trying to get a stretch in the front of your shoulders, your delts. Emily's almost laying all the way down to the ground. Most people can't do that. I can't do that. Get as far as is a good stretch for you. For those of you who are really tight in your shoulders, you're really going to feel this in the front of them. Again, keep those little fingers close together. Don't let them get wide just because you're trying to go further down. I'd rather have you staying up a little bit more like Charlotte is and have your fingers close together. Keep breathing here. And let's relax out of that. Shake your arms out. And we're gonna go into some back, thoracic, lumbar stretches, and then go down to our lower body. So on this one, you're gonna be laying on your stomach. We're gonna do what's called scorpion stretch. Shar and Emily will show you whichever leg is going, you're gonna bend that arm. So right leg and right arm bent. You're gonna take that right leg and you're gonna try to touch your foot to your hand. Just like that. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna do about 5 of them together and then we're gonna hold it. Your goal is to get your foot to touch your hand. I can't do that. Most people can't get that far. Emily probably can. Get as far as you can. Okay, so go ahead, lay flat down. We're gonna go into this. Right leg first. And go and bring it back down and 2 and down and 3 down and 4 down and 5 and hold. We're going to go 20 seconds here. As much as you can, try to press both shoulders down to the floor while still pulling that leg up towards your hand. You should feel this in your upper back, your thoracic, a little bit down into the lumbar too. Looks good. Breathe here. And slowly bring that leg down. And we're gonna switch legs. So bend the other arm and ready and reach down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5 and hold. 1, 2, 3, keep holding. We're going about 20 seconds. Keep stretching that foot up to your hand. Breathe in this. Think about your back muscles relaxing, your shoulders pressing to the floor, and come on out. All right, we're going over to our back. This is going to be a thoracic stretch. So thoracic is your upper back. You're going to take your right leg and you're going to pull it over to the side and try to put your shin on the floor and grab it with your hand. You're starting here. Now you're going to take your other hand and you're going to reach towards that leg. And then you're gonna open up to the ground. And we're gonna go back and forth 5 times, and then you're gonna hold. Got it? Yeah, that's looking good. All right, that leg's down to the floor. Reach across towards your bent leg. Yes, and now we're gonna open and come back. And 2, back, 3, back, 4, and hold. The goal with this, which they're both doing great, is to have that shin all the way to the floor and to have that shoulder on the ground. I cannot get that far in this stretch. A lot of people aren't going to be able to put that shoulder down. Depends on if your thoracic is tight or not. So if you can't get that shoulder all the way down, that's okay. Get as far as you can, breathe, and just let gravity pull it down. Good. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Grab the other leg, bring it across, press that shin to the floor, and 5 times. And we're going to open and bring it back, and open and back, and 3, back, 4, back, 5, and hold. Looks good. You're probably gonna have one side that's a little bit easier than the other. That's totally normal. One side's a little stronger, so it's gonna be tight. Try to get that shoulder to the floor and your shin to the floor. Breathe here, take deep breaths, try to let your back relax. And let's come on out. Gonna go to your back. We're gonna do 2 more stretches on the ground laying on your back. This one's a glute stretch. Start out, bend both knees like you're gonna do a sit-up, feet on the floor. Cross one leg over. And now you're gonna reach through that leg and pull the bottom knee towards your body. You're reaching in between your legs and around and then pulling. This should just open up your hips and your glutes. Some people call it a pretzel stretch. If you prefer to do this sitting up, you can do that too. Either way works. I think this laying one works good. If you need an extra stretch here, watch Emily. She's gonna take her other hand and push on that knee to open this up a little bit more. This is the knee that's crossed over. Just go ahead and push on it a little bit if you need more of a stretch. Otherwise, just stay like Charlotte and keep pulling that knee to you. If you've been doing lots of lunges, air squats, anything like that, you're probably kind of tight in your legs and glutes. This is a good one to stretch out. Making sure that you're keeping glutes loose is going to help you from getting back issues. Just hang out here a little bit longer. Good, and we are going to switch legs. Pull that other leg towards you. If you need an extra stretch, you take your hand and you press on that knee that's crossed over, push it down towards your other foot. Keep holding here, and we're gonna relax. Last stretch on our back. We're gonna bend both knees like you're doing a sit-up. Now we're gonna straighten one leg up towards the ceiling. You're gonna grab that heel and you're gonna pull it towards you as much as you can. This is a hamstring stretch. Charlotte and Emily are super flexible here. Charlotte's showing that if she needed to, she could grab a band to help pull on her legs. She doesn't really need to because she's really flexible, but if you're not, you might need a band. The most important thing here is that the leg that you're pulling up is really straight. If you're bending that leg, you're not gonna feel it as much. So make sure that that leg is straight. If you prefer to straighten your bottom leg like Emily, that's totally fine. Sometimes I like it bent so that your hips are staying down, but either way, whichever way stretches the most for you is good. You'll notice Charlotte sometimes is having trouble keeping her quads straight. You can, if you want to, take a hand and press it on your kneecap to make that leg straight, and then you'll get a really good stretch here. Hamstrings are an issue for a lot of people in CrossFit. Then it really shows up when we're deadlifting or going into hang positions, anything like that. You have trouble getting in that position. We want to keep those hamstrings as loose as possible so you can get into those movements. Breathe in this. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. On the third one, see if you can pull that leg a little bit closer to you. Make sure that leg's really straight. And let's switch legs. Release slowly, grab the other leg. And make sure that leg is all the way straight. Push your hand on your knee if you need to, and push that kneecap down so that your leg is all the way straight. That's why I like on this stretch pulling your heel instead of pulling your knee. If you pull your knee, sometimes it just really makes that leg bend a little bit. So I would rather you grab your heel or use a band to grab your heel so that you're pulling down from the top part and not letting that leg bend. No matter where you can get on this, just get to a place where you feel a good stretch. Some of you aren't even going to be able to get that leg all the way up. That's okay. Again, take 3 deep breaths. On the third one, see if you can pull that leg a little bit closer to you. Try to actively relax your quad muscle right now. You might not even know that it's tight. Relax it, feel it loosen up. And come on out slowly and sit up. Okay, great job. We're going into a sequence where you're gonna be up on one knee. We're gonna do 3 stretches here. First one we're gonna do, you're gonna sit up really tall and you're going to take your back foot and bring it up towards your glutes. This is essentially the couch stretch. It's just doing it without an actual couch. Sometimes it's good to just use your arms like this instead. So sit up really tall, have your hips underneath you, and then push forward a little bit. You're gonna feel it in your hip flexor on the bottom leg, the knee that's on the ground. The more you can kind of tilt your pelvis under, the better it's gonna be. You can think of it if your pelvis was a bowl of water, which is kind of weird, but you want it to spill backwards, okay? So you're tilting it underneath you. That's gonna really target that hip flexor and get a really good stretch in there. Good job. Now you're gonna release that back leg, step out further, and you're gonna press your hips down towards the floor. Going into a deeper lunge. This one you're gonna be able to get a lot deeper into, but you're not gonna feel it in the same way in that hip flexor as you did on the last one. If you'd like to take your elbows and reach them to the floor, that might get you into a little bit more of a stretch. If you're not quite there, that's okay. Just keep your chest up tall. It's looking good. Keep breathing. And you're gonna come up and you're gonna straighten that front leg, pull your toe up to the ceiling, and then you're gonna lean forward on that front leg as much as you can. You might not be able to lean very far forward. This is a hamstring stretch. Again, a lot of our guys in the gym, really tight hamstrings. If you can only lean forward a little bit, that's okay. If you're super tight, sometimes when you stretch, your muscles start to cramp a little bit. That's normal. Just try to relax some more. Come out of the stretch if you need to and ease back into it. It's not a huge deal. It does happen. And let's come on out, and we're going to switch legs and do the whole sequence on the other leg. So up tall, grab that back foot, bring it up towards you, tilt your hips under, then gently push your hips forward. It shouldn't take very much. Emily's showing us where she's feeling it in that hip flexor. Hip flexors are really tight on a lot of people, especially people who have really loose hamstrings. Hamstrings sometimes are loose. Glutes and hip flexors being tight can really cause a lot of back injuries. So it's really important that you keep those loosened up. A lot of people don't even know they have tight hip flexors until they actually start to get into these stretches. So making sure that you're doing something like this when you're doing a lot of front squats, when you're doing a lot of glute and back work, you want to keep these stretched out. Okay, get into that deep lunge. Reach to the floor if you want to. Whatever the best stretch for you here is, just get into that and then take deep breaths. Good, and push back to straighten your front leg, and we're gonna lean forward on it. Stretch this hamstring. Try to breathe, take deep breaths. A lot of times females are looser in their hamstrings and they're looser in their hamstrings, tighter in their hip flexors. And for guys, it's sometimes the opposite. They're tight hamstrings, looser hip flexors. So just see what's tight on you. Spend a little extra time on that every day. All right, and come on out. We got like 2 more stretches and then we'll be done for the day. Feet in front of you, we're gonna go to a pike. Gonna flex your toes up to the ceiling. So before you even go down, you're gonna straighten your legs and pull your toes up as much as you can. While you're flexing your toes, you're gonna reach your elbows down towards the floor. You're gonna feel this a lot in your calf muscles if you're pulling those toes up and getting your elbows down. If you don't feel it in your calves, try to pull your toes up to the ceiling a little bit more. If you've been doing a lot of running or jump roping because you don't have a bike or a rower and you're stuck in your house, calves are probably getting really tight. So this is a good one to get them to loosen up a little bit so they don't cramp up. Emily's going to try to pull her heels up even more, either using her hands or just using her leg muscles. And then reaching down here. And go ahead and point your toes down now, and you're gonna stretch down further. You can probably go down a little bit further this time, and you're gonna feel it in different places. Looks good. That head down as much as you can, even if it's only a little ways. And come on up. Last stretch. We're gonna go into a straddle. So bring your legs apart as much as you want to, whatever's comfortable for you. They don't have to be super far out. The important thing here is that your knees are staying facing the ceiling. Don't let them roll in. A lot of people will let their big toes start to roll in, especially if they go too wide and then their knees roll in. Don't want that to happen here. Keep them up. Okay, take both arms, reach toward your right leg. Good. Head down towards your knee. Breathe, make sure both knees are facing up to the ceiling. Should open up the groin a little bit, your hip, down through your hamstring and your calf also. Again, the straddle is open to whatever your flexibility is. I'm not worried about it being super wide. Good. Lean into it, breathe. And let's go and switch sides. Reach to the other side. Looks good. Knees still up to the ceiling. Relax your muscles. And now we're going to reach towards the center. Hands down, elbows down, chest down, whatever works for you to get a good stretch while keeping your knees up to the ceiling. We're going to hold 30 seconds here. Breathe into this and actively think about relaxing your quad muscles. Release whatever tightness is in them. Relax your calf muscles. Breathe. As you breathe into this, your muscles will loosen up a little bit and you might be able to go down a little bit further. A lot of times it just takes 10, 15 seconds for your muscles to get over that stretch reflex and to relax enough where you can go further. That's why we want to hold longer sometimes, give those muscles a chance to just loosen up, give you a little bit more flexibility. Looks good. And come slowly out of this. All right, awesome job, guys. We're doing this every Tuesday and Thursday. It's not going to be the exact same thing. I've got a lot of different stretches I can throw at you. Some days we'll focus on specific things, specific mobility issues that CrossFitters really have trouble with. If you're feeling super sore, hit me up, send me a message, let me know what you want to focus on. I'm open to requests. Question of the day was queso or salsa. My answer is definitely salsa, never